Can a cup of tea reveal your future? Our next guest says yes, and not just that, but can also show you how to shape it. Today, we are diving into the world of intuitive tea leaf reading, channeled guidance, and soul-aligned decision making with a gifted guide who helps you decode life signs and navigate challenges with clarity and confidence. Hi, and welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, and transformational coaches stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to help coaches and entrepreneurs amplify their voice and monetize their mission and get visible, leveraging podcasts and Substack. Today, we are chatting with Cecilia de Groot. Cecilia is a tea leaf reader, channeler, intuitive, and helps guide people to create the future they want or more easily navigate life's challenges along the way. Welcome to the show, Cecilia. It's great to have you here.
Hi, thank you, Jill. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the big question. Are you ready?
Sure.
I always like to prepare people for this. What's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
Trusting yourself. Um, in my work, the biggest thing is people really don't trust themselves, and they come to someone like me to help give them that guidance, and I'm like, I try to put it back on them. Like, yeah, I can show you that, these are the possibilities. You have all the answers. Yeah. That's pretty much it
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
people people don't really realize how intuitive they actually are and how much tuned in they could be with very
hmm
little effort. I mean, it's not like only certain people are channels and only certain people have these gifts. It's really available to all of us. It's like, we all can taste food. Well, most of us can taste food. It may taste different to some people. And I think the same goes with like vision or touch or any of the other senses you have. Intuition is just a sense, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. And I just had a like thing pop up as I was thinking about like trust and where that goes and what that looks like. I think there's a foundation of we've kind of lost touch with our sense of worthiness as well. So if you don't feel like you're worthy, how can you trust yourself, right? So there's this whole dynamic around all of that, and it's like, well, feel worthy because you are here, and whether or not you believe in like a creator or a god or whatever it is, right? I do believe that there's a divine intelligence that made all this happen because it's 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 profound and amazing, and you're not junk. Like God or creator doesn't make junk. And I love my son. He always reminds me, um, you're like 1 in a 4 trillion chance. That's a miracle. How come we don't feel worthy, and I look in my own past, right? And the entire system that we are in and are a part of that was designed by human beings is all about thwarting that, right from early on. You can't trust yourself. You have to obey your teachers and your ministers and whoever else, and if they have an opinion about you that takes away your sense of worthiness and your sense of self, then where does that lead us? Spinning around wondering what life is about. So, yeah,
It's for control
it
because you
is.
can't control a free people and freedom exists primarily in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be in jail and still be free because they can't,
Absolutely.
no one can control your thoughts except you.
Yeah.
And intuition kind of works the same way. It's like if you feel worthy and you recognize your worth and you put your boundaries up and say, I'm not going to let people into my space, whether it's mental or physical, that are making, not even making, but I'm allowing to make decisions about who I am or how I interact with others. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times that people have just been raised to accept other people having control over their thoughts about themselves, which is
Yeah.
just like so horrible.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I aim to change that with my work, or like one of the many things I aim to, impart to people. You can either take it or leave it, of course, right? But
Mhm,
like that's been my own journey. I had my voice robbed from me essentially as a young child, and it's been my entire life working to reclaim it and be like, I can stand in my power. And I had to go through like 8 years of family court with a very violent man, and the system doesn't get it, and they just keep perpetuating it because they make all kinds of money on you.
mhm.
And I had lots of gaslighting from these people as well, so I had to really lean in to my own self around it and be like, I know my story. Just because you sit there and tell me that it doesn't exist, it does. And it's real to me, and that's
Doesn't
what
make it
matters, right?
right. Yeah. That's
So, yeah.
so empowering.
Right? It took a lot to get there, It's just like, okay, I had a judge actually tell me that the abuse I was experiencing was normal. And I was like, okay, so somehow I have to normalize this abuse. Which is, and then I could see that on the bigger scale of things. I'm like, well, everywhere I look, there's this abuse, right? So, yeah, and the system is broken and corrupt. They're in it for their own, line their own pockets or whatever. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm like, I'm
All the
more
systems
heart-centered.
too. It's not like
Yeah.
some of them. It's just like everything is that way. And
Yeah.
it's a matter if you're red or blue or purple or pink or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
It's just like just
So
because you
true.
think they're out to get you doesn't make you crazy because they probably are out to get you.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just
And
don't
it's
want you to
all,
believe it.
yeah, it's all an energy game, right? They want to control you. They want to control your energy.
Mhm.
If you look at the whole, like in the beginning, they take an imprint of the sole of your foot, and then you get like a birth certificate, and that essentially controls your, well, what is it? The straw man, they call it, right? Like
Mhm.
the thing that's
Yeah,
allowed to exempt.
it's not even
Yeah.
you.
No, but there they are. I'm like, wow, isn't that some, like, I call it spelling, and like it's some kind of like
Mhm.
witchcrafty thing, but not quite. It's more sinister than what I would think witchcraft would actually be. And they're trying to own your soul by taking the sole of your foot, right? Where you're grounded, what you walk upon, your foundation. I'm like, wow, that's crafty.
They
Anyways,
actually sell you.
they do. Yeah.
That is a contract. It's a legal contract and you're being sold. I've heard to the Vatican, but
Yeah.
it's definitely to the government of the country that you live in. You
Yeah.
are you are now and they've gone even further with the whole Social Security. You have to have a Social Security number before you get out of the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have a different story on that. Um, my first son was born in a teepee,
Mhm,
unassisted, and I didn't get him a birth certificate until he was 5, and I did it like purely out of necessity. I'd left his father,
mhm,
and I was facing all these things. Like I left with nothing, right? So it was like, okay, well, now I have to make the hard choice and hope that we can rectify this later, right? I haven't even done it
mhm,
for my own self because it's like there's always some tap in thing that you end up needing along the way. And I'm like, oh, they get you. But that doesn't mean that they own what's inside of me as much as they might try.
mhm.
They were trying to convince me of that. So, yeah.
I just look at it as a game. It's a game.
Yeah. Right?
And I can pick and
Yeah,
choose what part of the game I'm willing to play. And
exactly. Exactly.
we always have choices. We might not like the consequences of our choices, but we always have choices.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. But like learning that and like learning to unhook from all of that, that's kind of the work that I do,
Mhm,
and so as a tea leaf reader, channeler, people are like, oh, your psychic work. Some people are very much like, well, that's devil work. Like, okay, because I actually feel like it's really positive and empowering.
mhm,
And I'm not out to like make anybody do anything or behave anyway. I'm just there to like show them another
mhm,
possibility, just a little glimpse of like something that I believe, always know, and they just haven't felt ready to take that next step. So that's where I come in.
It sounds kind of like you're an empowerment coach in that when people leave religion,
Hmm.
there's an incredible sense of freedom that you
Hmm.
experience. It's like you've heard all the stories and you know all the shoulds and shouldn'ts, and then you leave and you realize that you are God.
Hmm.
It, it is part of who you fundamentally are, I think.
Hmm.
And I think
Hmm.
I sometimes
Definitely.
wonder if it doesn't experience, we're here to have an experience for it. And I wonder if it doesn't experience all of our experiences simultaneously
Oh yeah.
at one time, including like what's going on with the trees or the bugs or whatever. I mean, every every every, every moment of the ever present now, it's
Hmm.
having an experience that includes all of our experiences that we're having in that moment. Just like,
Definitely. And bringing that up too about the work that I do, because I believe in multiple timelines.
mhm,
I'm like, we can shift our future possibility just by shifting our thinking in the moment, right?
mhm.
And so that's one thing I do tell my clients. I'm like, the future is not set. I'm picking up on one of many possibilities, and so it's up to you whether or not you want to engage with that or not, and just have fun. Just enjoy the ride if you can, if you can.
Yeah. And if you
um,
aren't enjoying the ride, then maybe you should, you know, jump timelines.
right? Exactly. Let's manifest something else. Let's go over there. So that's not for me.
I'm
Yeah.
doing that right now. I was
Oh, wonderful.
writing in my journal and looking back through it just a few minutes ago. And um, in January of 2024, I decided I was going to manifest $1 million in 1 year. It was like a game. I've
Yeah.
manifested large sums of money in the past, and I wanted to do it in 1 year. And so
Hmm.
all of January, I would do things and get involved in things, and I'm a millionaire and
Hmm.
it's coming to me. And every day I would say my daily mantra that I'm grateful that money flows to me in abundance and consistently. Um, and And then it took a whole year. In January of 2025, I was introduced to this crazy thing that I'm doing by a gal that I actually had interviewed on my podcast. And
Mm.
I started with like $1,000 because it has to do with daily compounding interest or
Yeah.
returns. And yeah, that $1,000 will grow to $1 million by September of this year.
It's amazing.
It
Yeah.
is amazing. It's like,
Nice. Mind blowing. I'm like, huh?
yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you about it
Lovely.
later, but and for the
Cool.
listeners, I'll put a link below and so you can
Everyone
see what
wants to
we're
know
doing.
now.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, but things on my timeline are different than things on the timelines that I had been experiencing before. Even last year, I was on a timeline where investing looked a certain way, and
Hmm.
anything outside of that was just like, oh, that's too weird for me. But
Hmm.
I also like I buy cryptos and such. I guess it's not too weird for me, but when this came along, I was like, oh, okay, there it is. And
Yeah.
it wasn't any effort.
Yeah.
It's when we're having to do the effort thing, I think it it's not really right for us. And
Mm.
everything is
Hmm.
not for everybody.
No, it's true. And it can feel like I don't know if it's exhausting, but like
Hmm.
can't think of the word. But like in business, say you make a post and you're like, hopefully this gains traction, and then it goes nowhere, and you're like, should I keep trying this? Should I keep doing this? Is this a waste of time? It's kind of like that. If we don't see results from our efforts, it's hard to want to continue. So I get it. Make it simple. Keep it simple. Yeah.
So do
This
you
from, sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, when you work with people, do you work in groups, one on one?
I
And
do both. Um, and I've actually started teaching, like,
mm,
so I'll get them to like drink their own tea and then help guide them to interpret their own leaves. And it's very much like, well, what do you see? Um, some people see lots of stuff, some people don't see anything, and it's like, okay, well, how do we bridge that gap for you, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that there's not anything there. Um, yeah, so I'll read for people one on one. People get me to come to parties and stuff, and I'll read each person
mhm,
individually. You know, some people are listening and a part of everything. And then, like I said, I'll do the big group, not training, but guidance.
mhm.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat. It creates a really neat dynamic where, I'm just like lean into that trust, like I say, right? Lean into trusting yourself. You can't make any mistakes here. And it's all for like fun, and maybe something will come out. Maybe you'll see something that, came up in your cup or that you felt or whatever, right? Yeah.
I think even if it's your imagination, it's good. It's
Mm.
good for us to imagine things,
Yeah.
imagine possibilities. Like I have Joan and the
Mhm.
unicorns. I talk to
Yeah.
them all the time, and
Nice.
yes, they are my imaginary friends, but they answer
Love
me.
them.
And they take me for rides when I'm feeling really stressed.
I need to do that. I'm doing it.
You
I,
do.
I'm
I'll lend you one of my unicorns.
sounds good. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, well, and I mean, imagination is where we kind of first start as children, right? With our playfulness. So tea leaf reading also invites that in. And yeah, I'm all about having a pleasurable experience as well. Like there's tea leaf readers in the world who be like, nope, you have to have this tea that you don't like because that's all I've got, and you have to have it straight up, and you can't have, you know, sugar and cream in it or whatever it is you like, right? And I'm all like, you can't make, like I said, you can't make a mistake with this. It's all about your pleasure. It's all about enjoying and discovering what's inside, right? So,
I went to a tea ceremony when I lived in Japan. When I was a
mm,
kid. The
cool.
school orchestrated an opportunity for us to go and participate in a tea ceremony, which was
Very
it
cool.
it is so cool. I mean, there's like just picking up the whisk to whisk the
Mm-hmm.
tea, and
Mm-hmm.
then the whole process of boiling the water and pouring the water and blessing the water, and it was just like
Mm,
probably took 20 minutes to make the tea. 5 minute
nice.
process
Right. It
for
sounds so
most of us.
grounding and like
Mm.
making you be in the moment, right? Be present with what you're doing. That's really cool.
That's the thing that I have taken from my time in Japan is intentionality.
Mm,
Everything they do with intention, and it's very minimalistic, but
mm-hmm.
the beauty is in the minimalism. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like they can take one cherry blossom, and it's just like the
Mm-hmm.
way that it's sitting in the vase, and the vase, the care they took to find the vase, and I it's just like it
Mm.
was such a rich
I love it.
experience.
Yeah, I can feel it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like the medicine my own heart needed today. I'm like,
Oh,
it's that reminder. Yeah, and I also do like online, so virtual readings and stuff. I can channel people. I just create, make a cup of tea. Well, I don't make the full cup. I can't drink that much tea in a day. Um, so I'll just add a little bit of water just to soak the leaves and be able to create that movement, and then I follow the process that I normally do for an in-person reading, and yeah, share with them the results. We can stream it live, like have a conversation much like we are now, and or I can just type it up for them if they want to reflect back on that. Some people don't like the face-to-face exchange, so that's great. And I can do groups this way too. So have a have a Zoom party with people or whatever. Yeah.
So do,
And Sorry, yeah, go on.
Do people repeat back to you or report back to you that what you've seen or what they've seen has happened for them?
Yes, some people have. I did a group like teaching one time, and the very next day, one of the gals there, she was like, at the time, everything you said didn't resonate. The next day, it happened. I was like, wow, that was like, I think it was something to do with them. I was like, there's going to be disputes over a contract or a will or something like that. And then that actually happened the very next day. And then another reading I recently did for a lady, I saw the Golden Gate Bridge and a young girl or like younger woman. And I'm like, do you have a daughter? Like, what is this showing? And then she didn't have a daughter, but she reflected back and she'd actually gone to San Francisco when she was 16. And so like this past piece was coming out and we were like reflecting on that, like what it meant. She's like, actually, this is a conversation I have to have with somebody regarding that trip. Like things were coming up for her about it. So it was like really profound. There's like the perfect image in there of a Golden Gate Bridge and a girl standing and looking at the bridge. It was like, yeah, I love it when people say that they can see what I'm seeing. I'm like, look, do you see
Mhm.
the image there? Some people can, some people can't. Yeah, and then it comes back to trust again. Um,
People do oracle cards and tarot cards, and the card that's supposed to show up always shows up.
it
And
does.
I think
That's
it's
just what you need. Yeah, I actually did a reading for myself yesterday.
Mhm,
I had court yesterday online, and I
mhm,
was like, okay, I gotta get a glimpse of where this is going because no matter what I do, I always have a bit of anxiety around having to go and do that, right? And
mhm,
I think it's more to do with like the trauma that everyone else has experienced around court, right? Like when I first walked into a courtroom, I could feel the witch trials and stuff. I could
mhm,
feel that in those walls. I just send love out to the walls and I bless the judge and everybody else in the room. Um, Going off on a tangent, but yeah, so I did a reading and it came up. I used the good tarot. Actually, I have it here because I do tarot readings and stuff too. And it was what was it? The King of Water, which was like this kind, compassionate man. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the judge. And then it was like a stalemate, which was, and then ultimately, it's all about like opening up and experiencing the world and traveling and which is something that I've wanted to do and share with my kids, but we've kind of been like trapped because of family law
mhm.
and not able to like leave where we've lived for so long, right? Because of the system. They love their prisoners. Anyway, yeah, it worked out exactly that way. My ex decided to throw in the towel at least in that moment because he is dishonest and manipulative and yeah, finally came around and he couldn't go anywhere with it and yeah. It's like, all right, I'll be free now. Can we go live our lives finally? There's still a few more steps that need to happen, but it's definitely moving in that direction. So,
That's
yeah.
great. I'm really
Right?
happy for you. I,
Me too.
Kids always exponentially complicate problems, but they're so
Yeah.
worth it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, I've learned a lot, right? And I probably wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't have gone through what I went through.
Mhm,
Like I always knew there was like a lot of corruption and unhealthiness in the world in those
mhm,
systems. And this very much like showed me, and me, I'm like, I'm a healer. I'm like, can I fix this somehow? How do I fix this? And I think it's more about empowering people
mhm,
and showing them, yeah, you might have to play the long game. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and like, what are you committed to? I had to check in with myself every day through the process. I was like, is this worth it? Absolutely, it's worth it. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's scary. It's uncertain. And my prayer was always, may the outcome be for the highest good of all. and I had to let it go, right? I'm like, I know that my son isn't, he doesn't belong to me, and
Mhm.
no, yeah. Anyway,
And they have a half, they're half him too. I
yeah.
that when I left my older kid's dad, it was like I really tried hard not to make
Hmm.
it about him and let them discover for themselves the
Yeah.
pieces that caused the problems. But I, if you can do that, even as painful as it is, then then there's then it just becomes a season. It doesn't become like
Hmm.
the whole rest of your life is like
Yeah.
ruined because of what went on. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it wasn't ever ruined, maybe it was like waylaid a bit or whatever, but no, the what I had to walk through fortified who I am as a person, like I say thank you to him. I would never say it to his face
mhm,
because then he'd be like, "Oh, I was right." Like, it is. um, yeah, yeah, but I'm very grateful for the lessons. And like I said, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing, being able to offer people a genuine understanding of what they might be going through, right? Because I've lived
mhm.
it. I'm like, I was forged in the fires of hell. Let's do this. And yeah, and helping to find my own voice. So sometimes the medicine is bitter. It's still medicine, right? It's still, I'm like always like, find the silver lining. Don't deny that it's happening, but find that silver lining. It's your saving grace. And even tea leaf reading is much like that because you got to drink the tea with the leaves floating in the water. And I'm like, we live in such a protected world, Usually we get a tea bag. We don't have to experience any of the unpleasant sensations that might end up in our mouths because, the tea came out. Remember being upset because your tea bag broke? You're like, oh no, it's in the water. What do I do? It's the end of the world. No, it's not. um,
Just
yeah,
a
so I'm
different
like,
opportunity for you.
right? Exactly, exactly. Well, I used to be devastated if my tea bag broke. Like, what? That was more when I was like a kid, but I still remember that feeling. And so with tea leaf reading, it's like a rite of passage, right? You kind of got to go through the uncomfortable things to
Mhm.
get your answers. So,
So how'd you get
yeah.
started in this?
Well, I've always been an intuitive. Like I remember being 5 years old, looking out at the world, and being like, "What?" and just picking up on all kinds of stuff. And I still tried to integrate in what was expected of me as a human being in this world, and
Mhm.
it never worked. And I was trying to actually get into like empowerment coaching, as you say, using the more traditional methods. And I wasn't ready. I was dealing with my own stuff. And this just sort of came naturally. So, what is it, December 2024? No, 23, sorry, December 2023. I saw a post, somebody looking for a tea leaf reader. And I was like, well, I know two, but they're probably really expensive, but they don't live in the area. And in a pinch, I could come do it for fun. And that was kind of it. I let it sit and simmer, and then I jumped in with both feet. Actually, I read a line in a book, and it was like, trust your intuition. And I was like, oh, I could do that. That's all I needed to know. um, yeah, and then I just started putting it out there, and people were really receptive to it. And I go all over British Columbia. I'm in Canada.
Mhm.
And yeah, I want to, I've read online all over the world now, and I really want to get across Canada at some point and just, keep going. I love it.
So how can people find you if they were like interested in exploring what you're doing and how you're doing it?
Well, I'm mainly on Facebook. You can find me at Ask Cecilia. So www.facebook.com/ask me Cecilia is the link.
Mhm.
I do have my own website, but I don't put in nearly as much time into it as I probably ought to, which I'm hoping to shift. It's wearing many hats as an entrepreneur. I'm just like, just tell me where to go and I'll do it. Oh, I have all these other things to do too. Okay. Just yeah, anyway, my website is www.askcecilia.com. I'm on Instagram as well, TikTok, YouTube,
All the
and
places.
all the places. Come find me in person when I'm traveling
And
around. Like I said,
Substack. You're on
and
Substack.
stuff. Yeah, I
Do you
I
know what
have
your
I have
publication name is?
it's probably something similar. Probably Ask
Maybe
Cecilia
like
or Ask Me Cecilia. Yeah, I have it.
askcecilia.substack.com. And I'll make sure that I double check that before I put it in the show notes.
Sounds good. I created a channel a while ago on there, and I just haven't. It's one of those, like I said, like so many things on the go. It's like, what's the one thing that's the best thing to do? And like I said, I want to get away from Facebook because it's not. I don't know if it's like it's not fair to people like me. And I feel like because I was at one point doing really well, like I was probably getting too big too fast. So they shoved me down to the bottom of the feed. And even when I pay for advertising, I don't get any visibility. So yeah, yeah. I need a shift. I was looking at LinkedIn and stuff. It hasn't really grabbed my attention. So I'm excited for
Yeah.
Substack.
I think you'll be excited when if you just go over there and interact a little bit, you'll be like, oh, these are such great people. Because
Yeah, this is what
amazing
people are.
people. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I really
cool.
appreciate you joining us today, Cecilia. This has been a great conversation.
Well, thank you for having me, Jill. This is lovely. I love the organic way that it just flowed.
Yeah, me too. To learn more about Cecilia and her current offerings, please visit www.askcecilia.com or visit her on Facebook at facebook.com/Ask Cecilia. Is that
Ask
right?
me, Cecilia.
Ask me, Cecilia. And we'll be sure to put those links in the show notes. And I have to just change that so I don't forget when I put them down in the show notes. I do appreciate y'all tuning in with us today. And if you have a podcast or you're interested in starting one, be sure to reach out to us at support@heartlife.com. We love to help spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches amplify their voice and monetize their mission and offer a variety of ways to do that on Substack. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, you have change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.